VTOL Aerospace was created in 2004 to take advantage of the early drone regulations that Australia had. Australia was the first country in the world to have the regulations, but my history with unmanned aircraft goes back to when I was in the military. In the mid-80s, I graduated from the Royal Military College as an officer, and I went through military training into the intelligence area. And one of my best jobs and biggest jobs was advising the commanders at the time on battlefield information. So in other words, how do we collect information to provide the commander the sorts of things he needs to know to make up his plan. And so my early days were operating ground surveillance radars, unmanned aircraft, looking at all the different technologies that could be used in the mix to find out what was going on in the battlefield. So my interest in unmanned aircraft goes back to the early 90s, and I always knew that at some point into the future these particular technologies could be applied into all of Australia's core industries. There are a lot of people out there who either deliberately or actually don't understand that they can't actually operate the aircraft to its limits because there are regulations which provide certain limitations for them to be able to say, for instance, see the aircraft when it's operating, operate it below 400 feet. But I hear on a daily basis people operating kilometres away, much higher than 400 feet, which actually then introduces this unknown of safety into the manned airspace. So organisations like ourselves, who are quite restricted, are actually competing against people who have, in effect, in their own minds, no restrictions until they do something wrong. You come up with your various different business options, and you hope that when you have to employ those particular adaptive management outcomes, marketing outcomes, technical outcomes, that the combination of those will be innovative enough to get you through, so that you will actually establish a niche market which you can actually exploit and make a profit or a return on, as opposed to being in the general mix and maybe not succeeding, not because you're not producing a good product or providing the services, etc. It's just that the price points or your standard is too high to meet the market. From a business point of view, what I have found has been quite effective in producing innovation and new ideas, technology, is actually in the mix of our technicians and engineers. All our engineers are QUT graduates and very bright young guys. What we've done is we've paired them with much older guys who've come out of industry, including companies like Boeing, and who are technicians, but also, how to say, very much into the hobby side, which is what got them involved in this industry in the first place. So we've taken the enthusiasts and made them professionals, and the idea is that when they work together with the younger engineers, they come up with ideas and applied outcomes which produce reasonably interesting and commercial products which we can actually sell and use. A dogmatic approach to things, and I think that came from my military training and experience and just age. I'm over 50 now, so you've got to make it work.